The story begins with a thrilling piece of news that rocked the cryptocurrency world. Visa and XRP will collaborate, enabling payments in 180 countries starting Monday. For years, there have been rumors that Ripple is pursuing extensive interfaces with major international payment companies. However, the notion of Visa, the world's most renowned payment network, shifting its emphasis to blockchain settlement truly caught people's interest. Because it connects two disparate realms, this is the type of statement that immediately grabs attention. The framework that the open ledger, which millions believe is the way of the future, is currently used by billions of people. The story establishes a feeling of what will happen as soon as the title begins to circulate. It appears that the eagerly anticipated tipping point has finally come, the point at when digital assets transition from speculation to infrastructure. The world appears to be oversaturated with the notion that Visa would allow users to pay XRP in 180 countries. People begin to envision a future in which XRP is accepted overnight at all markets, hotels, airplanes, retail establishments, and online checkouts. It is impossible to avoid the sense of pressure because the deadline is next Monday. Its meaning is easy to understand. At this stage, XRP transforms from a specialized digital product to the primary means of global financial transactions. The premise that genuine value is established by real usage at scale is the foundation of the 800 price hike story. All of a sudden, the event is being discussed online as though it were the single thing that could alter the regulations governing international finance. The Visa integration is presented as the crucial element in the version of this narrative that receives the most attention, that makes it possible for stores to adopt it widely. According to insiders, Visa engineers have been collaborating with Ripple's technical team for years to ensure that XRP's low fees, settlement finality, and ledger speed are superior to all other options. According to the made-up claim, Visa vendors would no longer have to cope with costly processing middlemen, sluggish bank clearing systems, or delays in regional settlement. Every transfer needs to be completed. Where you buy something is irrelevant. Gas in Nairobi, coffee in Berlin, or merchandise in Dubai would immediately settle on the XRP ledger. It appears to be a still from a movie. Every location where Visa conducts business is illuminated by a dazzling line of digital payments, creating an unending network of instantaneous transactions. Supporters believe that once Visa supports it, all other banks that aren't already on board will feel pressured to do the same. Banks would be eager to install settlement rails for XRPL. Remittance behemoths would transition from outdated transfer mechanisms to XRP, powered on demand liquidity. Merchants would reduce their fees. Customers would actually receive approvals time. Additionally, small enterprises would no longer suffer from delays in international processing. Due to the mathematical outcome of all global payment flows shifting to a single digital backbone, this graphic further confirms that an XRP valued 800 is not only feasible but also tipping point, according to some, is the point at which energy demand overtakes speculative trade. They believe that even cautious investors would become enmeshed in the movement due to the magnitude of the liquidity shocks. They believe that supply shortages at the macro level brought on by corporate leveling will cause retail customers go nuts. Next Monday is portrayed as the beginning of the largest financial improvement in history in this made-up hype narrative. Fake countdowns and samples of what people believe the new Visa XRP card experience will be like are posted on social media. Some digital artists create animated future point of sale machines that illuminate with the XP symbol when a payment is verified, and others create credit cards with the XRP logo on them. The Visa logo shining next to the XRP logo, thumbnail images of a world map, and the Name Thunder soaring above a credit card all quickly became popular. The plot appeals to people's demand for unity, speed, and efficiency, which keeps them fascinated. People want to believe that Visa, a well-established firm, is prepared to implement blockchain technology throughout its worldwide network, not just in a limited pilot or sandbox. Crypto enthusiasts frequently assert that 180 nations equate to 180 government approvals. Obtaining 180 regulatory clearances is equivalent to receiving a global green light for the long run. According to the fabricated hype version, this is the last indication that banks have chosen XRP as the blockchain race victor. People keep using the phrase the 800 tipping point because it portrays the price an inevitable outcome rather than a pipe fantasy. In the narrative, Visa is portrayed as the final and most difficult rock to fall. The most crucial piece of evidence, people claim that no one would wager against Visa if it accepted XRP. Ordinary folks are shown in this image waking up to a shift in currency in the form of a plastic card that they already have in their wallets. But the reality portion of the script will always come from this really tight circumstance. At this point, the narrative must slow down and keep verifiable information from spreading like wildfire. Visa has experimented with blockchain technology, cross-border test programs, tokenized value rails, and reliable coin settlement. Several cryptocurrency companies have already partnered with Visa to develop co-branded cards that can be used to make purchases using traditional cash. Additionally, Visa has conducted research on the concept of incorporating blockchain-based settlement layers into the future payment architecture. None of these modifications, however, constitute a widely used XRP-specific integration that enables debt settlement for 180 nations. Visa, Ripple, or any other regulatory agency has not formally announced that an event would begin on Monday. Local banks, compliance frameworks, and country-specific regulations are all closely linked to Visa's global network. Before everyone to use cryptocurrency settlement, there would need to be a significant rethink of merchant adoption systems, risk frameworks, regulatory alignment, and settlement techniques. Any improvements to Visa's infrastructure require extensive testing, multi-year planning, and various rollout strategies because the company has always been conservative. This kind of significant shift would need to be announced to the public includes visible regulatory filings, merchant advice, and stakeholder meetings. Such things do not exist. Additionally, global retail cryptocurrency settlement involves far more than a few enterprises flipping a switch. In reality, the application of blockchain technology to daily payments is developing gradually but steadily. It typically uses stable coinage or closed loop regulated settings rather than erratic assets. There is no indication that Visa will use XRP to accept a variety of payment methods, a fact that it is still a valuable digital asset. When it comes to cryptocurrency integration and international payments, there are more moving components than would initially appear apparent. In fact, Visa has been investigating blockchain primarily to facilitate banks to pay off their loans, not to take the place of the majority's online payment methods. The corporation is investigating how blockchains could improve the back end of operations rather than altering how customers pay at stores. Although the XRP ledger is designed to facilitate speedy payments and improve liquidity in cross-border corridors, this does not imply that consumers would always utilize cards to make purchases. Institutional settlement networks and shop-in lines are not the same thing. I would add a blockchain layer, however, Visa. Most likely, it will, since stores price goods in national currencies rather than assets that fluctuate in value, start with tokenized cash, such as a stablecoin. Therefore, neither data filing patterns nor the operation of the infrastructure support the notion that XRP will be the worldwide settlement asset of the Visa network on Monday. In actuality, Visa would most likely take its time implementing blockchain for mass settlement, first with pilot programs before advancing to regional deployment, and eventually wider integration years later. The financial community does not suddenly embrace global infrastructure, regardless of how compelling the narrative may be. As the narrative progresses, it becomes evident that the hype fraud is successful because it capitalizes on a genuine need in the cryptocurrency industry.